We're going to talk about season 2, episode 10, and y'all, it was a good episode. It was really, really good. Gypsy delivered a very healthy baby, Aurora Reina Anderson. For now, it's going to be Aurora Reina Urker very soon, but for now, it's an Anderson. Gypsy's healthy, the baby's healthy, so everybody's happy and they finally get to go home. They go to Kian's house and the baby Aurora meets Parker, the dog. And for some reason, I held my breath because I just get so scared when it comes to big dogs and little itty babies. Ooh, I'm so scared. I don't know how people transition into introducing their babies to their dogs. I think that must be scary because how do you know? It's so unpredictable. But speaking of dogs and babies, oh my God, I've come across on side of TikTok where these new mothers, they have their firstborn, their first babies ever, and they cannot stand their dogs anymore. They literally write down that on their videos, they cannot stand their dog. They hate their dog. Their dog pisses them off. They want to get rid of their dog. They want to rehome their dog. And they're not joking. Because all the comments are like, oh my God, I know how you feel. I can't stand my dog anymore. I just want to get rid of her. We're trying to find a new place. We're trying to rehome her. We don't know what to do with the dog anymore. And I'm like, and I would totally understand if it was during a postpartum period where, you're a new mom, you're overstimulated, you are overwhelmed, and I totally get it. But their kids are 3 and 4 now. So that newborn stage is gone. And I was just shocked by how many comments I found where all these people are like, yeah, we hate our dog too. We can't wait to get rid of him. We're trying to figure out ways to get rid of the dog. I'm just like, what? Did you never love the dog? I don't understand. Why'd you get a dog if you were just going to hate it eventually? I just felt so bad for these damn dogs.
But since having my baby, who was born September 2023, I hate dogs.
I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk.
Listen, who else cannot stand their dog after having a baby?
And then I had kids, and I'm no longer a dog person. That's something I didn't know that would come with the whole motherhood thing. Is now you hate your dogs.
Did anyone else develop an aversion to their pets? Got our dog a month before I became pregnant with my first. And when I tell you I loved him, I was obsessed with him. He can sleep in our room, but then I just became so overstimulated by him to the point that I'm this is not even fair. I am not nice to him. And I literally, the slightest thing makes me so annoyed at him. Hence why I'm outside, having some alone time, because I'm just feeling so overstimulated by him. He can just look at me and I feel annoyed. And I know that's not nice. Keep in mind, I'm a vegan, huge animal lover.
I just saw another one of those videos where a dog parent became a parent and is now hating on their dog. And the comment section is full of comments of people being like, yeah, I hate my dog now. Can't wait for him to no longer be with us. And if you are planning to have kids, you also have to critically think about what life is going to be like for that dog when kids enter the picture and help prepare that dog from now. If your dog is truly a part of your family, the best thing that you can do for your dog, especially if you want kids, is prepare them from now for life in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years when you have kids.
Well, anyway, Gypsy, Kian, and Aurora are settling in until Ken gets a DM from a stranger with pictures of him. And in the pictures, he's bringing Aurora to the car at the hospital. Now, not only does it feel incredibly weird and creepy that people are watching them and taking photos of them without their knowledge, but they hadn't announced the birth yet. They were actually going to keep it to themselves for a little bit until they transition, they take it day by day, they relax, spend some time with the baby and settling in, but it's too late. People already saw them, they have pictures, and it'll probably hit the tabloids any moment. Ken's pretty disappointed. I mean, understandably. And he also mentions how he doesn't care about the rumors and gossip about him anymore. People can talk all the crap they want about him, but when it comes to his daughter, he is super protective now. He wants to protect Aurora from the public and the media. But on top of that, they have another issue. Because Aurora got delivered earlier than scheduled, once the news hits that she was delivered, everyone's going to speculate once again whether it's Ken's baby or Ryan's baby. It's actually pretty insane that her baby coming just a week earlier opens a door for Ryan to be the dad. Like, Gypsy girl, maybe you could have waited a minute before hopping onto another dick. Anyway, they're all talking about how the public doesn't care about facts and they're just gonna believe whatever they want to believe, and that's true. I mean, I'm a potato for Pete's sake, and people have made up stories about me. So I can't even imagine the level of crap public figures go through on a daily.
Another thing y'all need to be prepared for is the dates with the baby coming so early.
Which is why I wanted to wait. Because, I mean, I feel like they're going to be like, it's Ryan's baby. And until
they're only going to be saying that. They're going to be saying, we told you.
It's already been proven that
100%,
this is my child.
100%.
So people are going to say it's Ryan's baby 10 years from now. It's not going to matter. These people don't care about facts and logic and reason. They care about their drama and their gossip and their bullshit.
Now they get into a little situation about the baby announcement. Gypsy doesn't want to even think about it right now. She's like, Aurora's healthy, I'm healthy, we're a family, and we're all healthy. Like, I don't feel the need to make an announcement. I don't care. And Ken's like, well, I'd rather get ahead of it because I want the announcement to come from us rather than a tabloid or from some random strangers. What would you do if you were in this situation? Because I totally understand where Gypsy's coming from. She probably feels so overwhelmed. She can't handle more stress. She's tired. She just had a baby. In which case I would just probably tell Ken to handle it. I'd be like, Ken, you do the announcement and I'm going to go to bed. That's what I would do.
I don't feel a need to gloat or be like, I had my baby. I don't care. And I don't know why you do.
I just think that it'd be nice for us to announce our news instead of others to announce it for us.
A few days later, they talk about the announcement again, and Ken talks about how he wants to make a post on Instagram. He wants to shout it from the rooftops. He wants to tell everybody that he has a baby and, you know, she's perfect and she's beautiful, and he just wants to like share with the world how happy he is. And she's like, okay, yeah, you can do that. I'm okay with that. Rod feels like this is his redemption, his second chance. Since he wasn't there for Gypsy's childhood, he can finally be there for her through Aurora, if that makes sense. I got a little emotional in this scene because anytime a new baby is born, I get super emotional because it's something that I'll never experience, and I feel like it's a bittersweet feeling, you know? It's just like in another world, in another life, I hope I get to experience motherhood, but in this life, it's a no.
Such a pretty girl.
You're gonna get spoiled rotten. See, I'm already wrapped around my pop's little pinky.
As soon as Ken makes his Instagram post, it hits mainstream media and everybody's talking about it. They point out that Aurora was born on December 28th, 2025, and exactly 1 year ago, she was married to Ryan. Speaking of Ryan, he decided not to drive almost 4 hours to the hospital where Gypsy delivered her baby. Good for him. He seems to be having a tough time with this, though. It's probably just another stab to his heart. Since Aurora was born earlier, he's wondering if there might be a chance that she's his child, but come on, Ryan, let's be so for real. Everybody, including yourself, knows that there is no chance that she is your child, because I truly, within my heart of hearts, believe that they have never really had schmecks other than like her initial release and then like that first week. That was probably the only time they had schmecks. And I honestly believe that she was in love with Ken the whole entire time. And once she got back in touch with Ken, she was never intimate with Ryan. That is what I believe. We learned that Gypsy contacted Ryan right after she delivered her baby and sent him pictures of the baby.
Gypsy ended up texting me later that day and told me about the baby and how much it weighed and her name and stuff like that. So, like, Gypsy contacted me the day the baby was born.
My goodness, that is wild. She just wants to stick that knife in him and twist it more and more. Who the hell sends a photo of their baby to their ex-husband that they cheated on? That's so mean. Now, Gypsy still can't live with Ken because she's on parole for another 6 months, and he's back on his full-time schedule at work, so I guess no paternity leave for Ken.
The first 5 days, Ken's mom had came in town and helped us transition. But then after that 5 days, it was just us.
Gypsy only had help for the first 5 days after giving birth. Holy crap, that must have been so hard. She talks about the love she feels for her daughter. It's so immense, and all she wants to do is protect this child. And it made her realize how twisted her mom was to hurt her child and to watch her child in pain and to continue to hurt her. Who in their right mind would ever want to hurt a child, let alone their own child.
For my mom to do this, like, I can't stand it whenever I'm making Aurora a bottle and she's crying. I can't stand it. I'm like, I want to comfort her. I want to make it all better. And so, like, knowing that my mom was in the room with me when I was screaming in pain after a surgery or a procedure or a test, and I'm like, how?
Gypsy seems to be dealing with a lot of postpartum depression. She's sad, she's worried, she's anxious, she's depressed, she's having just overwhelming emotions and breakdowns. She feels super lonely, and this must have been around the time where she was relying on Ryan. She was confiding in him. She was really leaning on him during these times. And I don't know why she didn't lean on Can. Like, I understand her postpartum depression, her feeling super lonely and vulnerable, but why didn't she lean on Can? He should have been that person for her. So I want to know, like, is he just not available emotionally? Like, does he not want to be there for her emotionally, or does she not go to him with these thoughts because she doesn't want him to run away? Or is it both?
I literally, like, while you guys were on lunch, I had like another breakdown, and I had been hit with the question, how are you gonna tell your daughter about what you did? I just want to know that she's gonna love me and forgive me for what I did in my past.
Ooh, when she cried about her daughter one day learning about what happened to Dee Dee, and that she was so scared that her daughter would hate her and never forgive her and never want to talk to her and think that she's some kind of monster, and how that's her worst fear. I mean, I felt for her. I felt like Gypsy was so vulnerable in that moment, and I felt like her fears were valid. She hears about broken families all the time and how kids don't speak to their parents and they cut them off. But honestly, as long as you're a good parent and you're there for your kid and you do the best that you can, I think you're fine. The people who cut off their parents have valid reasons to. It's the toxicity, it's the trauma, it's all the negativity that they had to endure in their childhood growing up. Aurora is officially 2 weeks old now, and she's talking to her doula and talks about how difficult the nights are and how she's dealing with so much anxiety. And it just made me think, like, how do mothers do it? Honestly, the strongest people ever are mothers. By the way, happy belated Mother's Day. Ken and Gypsy talk about their transition to parenthood, and there seems to be a lot of tension in the scene, like so much tension. Gypsy tells him that she feels very alone, and he's like, well, just tell me anything that you need anytime, and I'm here for you. And she's like, oh yeah, I know, and thank you for that.
I know that I work and sleep.
Work and sleep.
And then, but in the daytime before I go to work, like, just let me know if there's more that I can do.
I can't always hold her. I can't always be that only person taking care of her.
Well, I mean, you haven't been. I've been a pretty big part of helping take care of her.
I know, and I'm not saying that you haven't been. I was just saying that, like, if I was, that would be really hard.
There definitely seems to be some sort of disconnect. I don't think that they were having the same conversation. Gypsy holds herself back a lot when it comes to Can. She doesn't fully express herself. She maybe tells him like 10% of what bothers her, and she sugarcoats it and she acts like she's fine. She says in her confessionals that Ken has been so busy with work that when he's there physically, he's kind of checked out mentally and emotionally. And it doesn't help that they're living separately because of her parole. So maybe it's going to get better when she's done and they're living together 24/7, or it's going to get exponentially worse. I think in real time, she has 4 weeks left of parole. Wow. And by the way, she's on a social media hiatus. She's on a 1-month break. She made the announcement yesterday or the day before that she was going to get off social media for 30 days. She admits that when she doesn't get the response that she wants from Ken, she starts to put up a wall, she starts to isolate herself and pull away as a way to protect herself. And it's so obvious. Their whole conversation by the fire was so painful because Gypsy holds back so much. How many times did I say so? But she really does. She holds back so much, and she pretends that everything's fine, that she's okay, when she's clearly not. And Ken's gotta know because it's so painfully obvious, but he doesn't push it either. He's like, what's wrong? I can clearly tell something's wrong. Oh, no, I'm fine. like, I was feeling a little off, but I'm okay now. Oh, okay. Well, if you say so. I mean, dude, I'm hitting my head on my microphone. Like, dude, clearly something is off. Like, clearly.
I know it's going to be a strenuous 5 months ahead, but we're both going to have it behind us before we know it, I promise.
Yeah.
Time is flying, and it'll continue that way. No more parole to deal with.
That'll be nice.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, maybe they're just holding in everything until Pearl's over and they can start fixing problems, like talking about their problems and addressing it once they live in together. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Well, it's time for Gypsy to go back home to her parents. Thank God. And wow. This is where Gypsy admits that Ken is not meeting her emotional needs, but she cannot tell him because she's afraid that he's going to get overwhelmed and leave her ass. Oh my God, this is not a healthy relationship. This is not how relationships work, Gypsy Poo. You gotta be honest. You gotta have open communication. And she talks about how she's been trying, but oh God, how is this a relationship? How? When you can't even talk to your partner?
With Ken, I'm like, there is that level of like emotional need that is not being met. My greatest fear is that Ken will get tired of it. Like, he will get tired of how like emotionally taxing I am.
Listen, I understand why she reached out to Ryan, right? She's super lonely. She wants to tell someone how she really feels because she can't talk to Ken. But just because I understand why she did it doesn't mean that I think she should have done it. No, she shouldn't have. Hell no, she should have left that poor man alone and allowed him to move on. She should get a therapist. Hell, if she doesn't want to get a therapist, she can talk to ChatGPT about her emotional needs. But not Ryan. He's been through enough. Leave him alone. We get a scene of Ryan. He's hanging out with his friend Jacob, and he's telling him that Gypsy's been talking to him and reaching out, and they've been talking regularly. And his friend is like, nah, that's not cool. She's keeping you on a hook, okay? She's leading you on. She played with you once, and don't let her play with you again. Like, you were her husband. You wanted a baby. You wanted a family with her. And she went and did all of that with somebody else. She used you. And he's like, well, hell yeah, she did.
I mean, she can't just keep stringing you along. She wanted to see if you would reply and see if you were with somebody. She don't want you to move on. She's just trying to keep you in that coat pocket. You let somebody do something to you once, they'll do it to you again.
Jacob does not trust Gypsy. He tells Ryan, cut her off. But Ryan, he can't cut her off. He said, but dude, whenever we talk on the phone, the spark is still there.
When we talk on the phone, man, it's still there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of accountability. At some point, you got to be just accountable for what you do.
Right. You know, I miss her voice. Her voice did it for me.
Damn, you like her voice? Oh my God. You know, Ryan, I can talk like that. You can talk to me anytime, boo-boo, okay? I'll make time for you because I'm on a high right now. Can't bring me down. Oh, I know you guys hate it when I say that. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just can't help it. Oh my God, this part is so effing juicy. So Gypsy sits down with her parents. She tells them, so I had a conversation with Ryan on the phone. And Rod is like, what the fork?
I had a conversation on the phone with Ryan.
Gypsy tries to make it seem like it's nothing. She tries to make it seem like she just called him to talk about paternity stuff, getting tested, the legalities, changing the birth certificate. She just called him for business. Well, she asked Ryan to meet up with her and her baby to take a paternity test, and he agreed. Christy is like, oh, what a douche, but I understand. And Rod is like, no, what are you doing? And Gypsy continues, yeah, so it's just the paternity stuff, you know, the paperwork, and we might have lunch together. And they're like, no, you shouldn't have lunch together. Oh, really? Why? We haven't talked in 6 months or so, and I think it'll be nice to catch up, and, you know, this might be a great segue for a potential friendship. What the fork are you smoking, Gypsy Poo? A friendship? A friendship? A friendship? You think you can have a friendship with your ex-husband that you cheated on and dumped? When she said that, y'all should have seen Rod's face. He looked concerned. He was like, oh no. Oh my God, you know that TikTok sound where it goes, oh no. Okay, I'm going to put the sound in that clip.
We might have lunch. We hadn't talked in 6 months.
No.
Christy starts laughing. She's like, oh, that douche. No, you cannot have a friendship with that douche. That won't happen for a long time. I can't do the Cajun accent.
You don't think you could ever be friends?
No.
I miss the friendship that we had before we got together as a couple.
Gypsy looks at him confused. She's like, you don't think we can be friends? Why not?
I just imagine,
Sometimes
okay,
you
you
gotta
and
let
Ken
things
down
go,
the road,
though.
you and Ken's kind of having a little tiff or just whatever, and Ryan's there to talk to, and then you start giving him emotional currency to where it's needing that or whatever, and I mean that's just going to create a crack.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right, because I tend to, lean on someone from my past and, someone who knows me and someone who I've already developed an emotional bond with. So, yeah, I can see that happening.
Gypsy admits in her confessional that Ryan was her best friend and that he understood her in a special way that Ken doesn't and that even her parents don't. And I'm like, God.
There are times that I feel like when I am not understood by Ken or by my parents, he understands.
Damn. Wow. I did not know that she had such a strong emotional connection to Ryan. I really thought she hit it and quit it, and that once she got back with Ken, that Ryan was over. I thought she was totally over Ryan and that she got the egg and that she never talked to him again. I did not know that this whole time she was talking to Ryan. I really didn't. So what I've learned from the last 2 episodes and from all the social media drama recently is that Ken can't give her what Ryan gives her in the emotional department, at all. Now, again, I don't know if Ken doesn't want to give it to her or if he doesn't have the emotional capacity to give it to her or if she doesn't even give him a chance because she's so deathly afraid that he's going to leave her. But why would you want to be with someone who can't give you that emotional support? The episode ends with Ryan looking at his phone. He's looking through his text message history with Gypsy and it's filled with pictures from Gypsy. There are pictures of Gypsy from Gypsy to Ryan, and there are pictures of Aurora to Ryan from Gypsy.
This is the first picture Gypsy sent me of Aurora. I looked at it, of course I glanced at it and was like, check features.
The thing about Ryan is he's funny. He can make you laugh. I mean, is he cringy? Yeah, he's super hella cringy, but he's funny. If you look back at old clips of Gypsy and Ryan together, she is laughing so hard, belly laughing. She doesn't do that with Ken.
So before the picture of the baby, she sent me that. And then, of course, she sent me a glamour shot. She sent me a picture of the baby and starting to get more features. And, I thought maybe, I don't know, I noticed the dimple right here.
Bro, everybody has those 2 lines above their lip.
She sent me that picture. That one made me melt. This is so unfair. I told her, I was like, I wish I could lay next to that every morning. I said, I wish I was there nuzzling next to her. I said, Aurora must be an Anderson because she's doing what I would have done. Just joking.
Okay, the fact that he's been saying stuff like that and she keeps talking to him and she doesn't cut it off because it is highly inappropriate to say that to a woman in a committed relationship that she has a baby with. He's been saying that, she's been entertaining it, she's been receiving it, and she's been egging it on and condoning it, and woo, wow. This is messy. Messy. He's looking at pictures of Gypsy and her baby, wishing that this was his wife and his family and his baby, and wishing that this was his present and his future. Oh my God. He is absolutely still in love with her. Still, I mean, or at least during the time that this was filmed. Wait a damn minute. Isn't this absolutely 100% having an emotional relationship? She sent him so many pictures, not just one picture of her and the baby.
This is me this morning with Aurora. This is me in my outfit for tonight. This is me in the morning in my pajamas. Oh, by the way, this is me and Aurora just right after I got done feeding her. Say hi to Aurora.
What the hell? She was giving him picture after picture after picture after picture. She should have been sending these pictures and text messages to Ken, not to Ryan.
Are you afraid that if the paternity is resolved once and for all, that the communication will stop?
Well, of course. I mean, why wouldn't I be nervous about that? Of course.
Yeah, that's probably why he didn't want to go to the hospital to sign the birth certificate. That's probably why he keeps prolonging this. That's probably why he keeps looking at her pictures and thinking that the baby is his when he deep down knows that it isn't. Okay, so the episode ends and the next episode looks juicy as fuck. She tells Ken that she's going to meet up with Ryan in person for the paternity bullshit, and Ken says, if you go meet with him in person, I'm moving to Texas and I'm suing you for custody.
We're dragging Aurora through the mud on this when she doesn't need to be. If she really wanted to go have this closure meeting, Aurora's not going to be there.
Whoa! I can't believe he said that. Damn. Okay, Papa Bear. I mean, from Ken's point of view, like, yeah, because it is totally inappropriate what Gypsy and Ryan have got going on. She has to pick one, either be with Ken or be with Ryan. But here's the thing. She wants them both because each guy gives her what the other one can. Side note, I realized that Gypsy has no friends, right? She only has Ken. She had Ryan, she has Mia and her parents, but she doesn't have any friends. Right? We never see any friends except for Bree. So maybe that's also another reason why she's hanging on to Ryan. And she wants his friendship with Ryan. But there's no way with their history that she can stay with friends with Ryan. Never mind. I was like, maybe in a different world. No, that's delusional. She needs some friends. I think Gypsy loves the fact that Ryan is obsessed with her. He showers her with compliments, with love, with affection, and she loves that because Ken doesn't do that. Ken doesn't seem the type to be like, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. Damn, look at you in that dress. You look fine. He doesn't do that. We never see him do that. We never see him be like, oh my God, I love you so much. Like, you're the light of my life. Like, Ryan's like that, but Ken isn't. And I think Gypsy loves getting that from Ryan. Woo! This was a juicy ass episode. I loved it and I cannot wait to see what happens next. So that's it for the episode recap. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments and I will talk to you in the next one.
Oh honey, I am so not threatened by you. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. My man with a 10-foot pole. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. My man with a 10-foot pole. Last check my check. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. Last check my check. You don't have a man. You don't have a man. You don't have a man.